What's up everybody, Tony here with HighTechCheck, and today we're going to take a look at the Orbit 960 4K dash cam by Geko Gear. Now I'm pretty excited to share this with you. This dash cam looks pretty nice. It is 4K Ultra HD capable, so that's going to definitely bring your videos and, if anything happens, to the best possible resolution you can get. And it also has a ton of features. So not only is it 4K, but it has a Sony Starvis sensor, which is going to help you with that nighttime vision. It also has a 140-degree angle. It has a 2.7-inch LCD. It's got a G sensor. It comes with a 16-gigabyte SD card, but can support up to a 512. It also has a 320 milliamp hour battery. It has motion detection, driver fatigue warning, WDR. It's got GPS logging, parking mode. It has an app that's controlled with Wi-Fi. It has a light reminder. So let's go and see what you get inside the box. This does retail for about $200, and I will put a link in the description to where you can purchase these if you want. So here is the camera itself. First impressions, it really has a nice weight to it. It is made of all plastic. There's the SD card slot, there's the camera there, there's your power button, USB, reset button, and then the LCD with some buttons. And of course I am going to install this, and we're going to go over every feature that this has. And here's your power cable. It's a USB-A to the micro USB. Here's your mount. So here we have a couple different options. Here's a sticky, more permanent mount, and then we also have the window mount. It's pretty nice. Here's your cigarette lighter adapter. It's 5 volts by 1.5 amps output. Here's our SD card. Comes with a little adapter. And then we have our manual. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the settings that are on here. But the first thing you're going to want to do before you turn this on is take that SD card and put it into the little slot here. Once you do that, you're going to go ahead and plug in the power, and then we're going to hold in the power button. Okay. All right, and then the second thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and go into the settings. And we're going to go to Format SD Card and then hit OK. Confirm. Hit OK. And it's formatted. So now it's all ready to use. So we'll go ahead and go back. To go into the settings here, we're going to hit the middle button. First off, the button up top here takes a picture. And that is an 8 megapixel picture that it's taking. The middle button here is the settings. Here's an emergency record button. So when you go ahead and hit that emergency record, it'll automatically record an emergency recording. As you can see, it's doing right now. And then up here, if you want to turn off the screen, you just hit the top button here and it turns off. To record a video, you'd hit the OK button, which this would be red if it wasn't recording, but it is recording right now. But to turn that recording on, you just hit the OK button. As you can see, it is already recording. And then to turn the mic on and off is the little bottom button here. So let's go ahead and go into the settings, which is the middle button here. So first is the app download. So if you have an iOS, all you need to do is turn on your camera, hold it over this little QR code, and it'll automatically take you to the download for that. And the next thing we have here is the resolution. It is already set to the 4K resolution, but you can change it if you want, and that is at 30 frames per second. Loop recording, this sets the amount of time that each video recording is recorded. 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So every time it makes a recording, it will be either 1 minute, 3 minutes long, or 5 minutes long, depending on what you have it set for. I usually just have it set for 1 minute. WDR, wide dynamic range, I like to have that on because it helps with, like blooming. If it's too bright outside, the camera will adjust for that. G sensor, this is if your car gets hit and the sensor the dash cam kind of jars, it'll automatically set a recording. I set that to middle sensitivity. screen dormant. This will set the screen time on amount. So if you want to keep the screen on all the time, you'd hit off. If you want to set it to turn off after 1 minute, you can do that 2 or 3 minutes. Keytone, this is pressing the buttons. It makes that tone. You can turn that on and off if it gets a little annoying for you. The volume, you can set up the language, time settings, video stamp. So when it makes a video, this is all that's going to be on the video: the date, the logo, the GPS location, and the speed. I turn off the logo. I don't need to see that, but everything else I believe is relevant. Here's your drive safety. So you can turn on the driver fatigue alarm. You can set that to off 1 hour, 2 hour, or 4 hours. And basically what that does is when you, after an hour or 2 or 4 hours have passed, it sets an alarm to let you know that, hey, you've been driving for this long, maybe take a break. I turn that off. I don't drive that much, but you might. Your light reminder, you can turn on and off. To turn your lights off in your car, I have that turned off. And this is what the reminder to turn off your front lights sounds like. Record mode, you can set it to basically do a time lapse for 1 frame per second. You can set it to motion detection or parking mode. So the motion detection is when you turn your car off, it'll still detect if it sees motion, and if it does, it'll record a video. Or if you set it to parking, if your car gets hit and your dash cam moves, it'll record a video. Or you can just kind of turn this off. I have it set to motion detection. So when you're in here trying to figure out which recording mode you want, you can choose between these 3 options really. And the motion detection and parking and off, it's only one or the other. You can't have more than one on at a time. So if you want to use this for motion detection, choose motion detection. The motion detection will start working when your car is just sitting there off. But again, you have to keep this connected to a continuous power source, and it'll record only when it detects motion. The parking won't detect motion, but it will detect if this camera moves. So if somebody bumps into your car or hits your car, this will move and record video on that. And if you don't plan on using motion detection or parking, then just go ahead and select off, and it'll only record when your car is on. So here's a little sample of the motion detection. I had this set up in my car in my garage. I just walked in front of the car and the dash cam starts recording immediately. Your Wi-Fi on to use the app. There's your format for your SD card, your format warning, reset system, and the version information. So technically, when you have the loop recording on, when your SD card gets full, it will start recording over the last video or the oldest video that was made. And as you can see, I shook it pretty hard and it turned on the emergency recording. And then if you want to play back the videos, all you need to do is hit OK. And then you see the little play button here, so we'll push that here, and it takes you to your pictures, your videos, and your emergency videos. So here's the emergency video that I did when I shook the camera. So as you can tell, this does have a built-in mic, so it does record audio, and it has a speaker for playing back that sound. Now the emergency clips do play back 32 seconds. It seems like a little bit less than 15 seconds prior to the actual event, and then another 15 after the event happened itself. And as you can see, the little timestamps down there, it showed the GPS, the time, and the date. So that's pretty nice. So if anything happens for the emergency video, it records, prior to the actual accident, so you can see what happened before it happened. And then you can scroll through your videos. You can go back. And then as you can see, it's got the normal videos and then your photos that you took. And if it is recording, all you need to do to pause it, to get that little playback to come up, just hit the OK button to see the little pause here. and I'll go ahead and pause your recording so you can go ahead and play back. And then here I'll go ahead and show you how the app download works. So here I have my iPhone XR. It is on the photo. All you need to do is hold it over here. It will detect it, and then it'll take you to the actual app. Okay, so here we are in the app. The first thing you're going to want to do is to connect your DVR. So we'll go ahead and connect DVR. Then you're going to go ahead and switch your Wi-Fi settings on your phone to this Orbit 530. Okay, or the Orbit 960. Okay, so when it asks for the password, if you go into the information on the actual dash cam, it shows you the password. It's 12345678. Already joined. Connect DVR. And as you can see, it is connected. It's pretty quick. There's really not a lot of delay. So as you can see, you can take a photo here. You can take some video. So you can look at your pictures you've taken. You can also take a look at your events that are on the camera or your photos. It also shows GPS, where you are. Go into our settings. Here you can see the resolution. You can change all the settings. Basically everything that was in the settings of the dash cam, but a little easier to maneuver and see. The app seems to be working pretty good. Let's go to our events. This just happened. See, so you can actually download it to your phone if you wish. So that's pretty cool. And then down at the bottom, you have the option to share it. You can download it or send it to the trash. And these are all the videos, photos, and everything saved on your actual phone. And then here's a little sample of some daytime footage. As you can see, it's a little cloudy, but it's pretty bright. You can easily make out license plates, street signs, and pretty much everything else. The 4K video definitely looks really good. Here's a little clip of when the shock sensor got tripped. Now you're going to hear a little ding. That's when this sensor went off, and all this video before that is prior to the actual event getting triggered. And you also get an extra 15 seconds after the event is triggered as well. Now in this clip, I'm going down a road that's pretty much completely dark. The only light you can see is from some of the houses, and the Sony sensor does light up the front of your car really well with just your lights from your car. Now I'm also going to go into a lighted area to show you how well the picture quality is with some lights more than just your headlights. And then just for a comparison, I wanted to show you what the video picked up with no lights on. Okay guys, so I'm on my way back home now, and this is just a little recording of what it sounds like to record a sound from your voice, or if you needed to say something and have it record. I don't know that you're gonna ever need to have HD quality sound. As long as you can make out what you're saying in the video, I think you should be good. And here's what the dash cam looks mounted. Now if you don't have that large middle piece in the middle of your dash, you can put this in more center and it'll hide more behind the rear view mirror, but I unfortunately can't do that. But as you can see, it still gives you a ton of room to see out your front window, and there doesn't obstruct anything. Okay, so there's a couple things that I've noticed while using this. The first one is the mount suctions to the glass pretty well. It's nice and tight on there. This does actually have a nice sticky back. You can rotate it back and forth and up and down, and it holds really well. The next thing is, if you want to use this in parking mode or you want to use the motion sensor for when you're out of your car, you're going to need to connect this to a power source that is continuous, or you can hook it up to a portable power bank, because once you pull out the power source, after 5 seconds, it automatically shuts off. Now you can turn it back on by holding the power button, but this is really meant to keep your videos from getting cut off right away if they're in the middle of recording. The battery's not meant to keep recording all day, so that's something to definitely keep in mind. Another thing is they definitely suggest you don't keep this in the sun where the temperature is greater than 140 degrees. So if you live in places like Florida, you might want to think about a sunshade or take this down from your dash every time you leave your car. Another thing I noticed is I just connected this to my Mac and it does not register as a mass storage device. I did try a different shorter micro USB cable and it worked beautifully. So the cable that comes with it will not work to get your videos off of here. You're gonna have to use some sort of other shorter micro USB cable. Another thing I just kind of want to make you aware of, when you are in that 1 FPS mode for the recordings, that will shut off after this shuts off. So that's kind of like a one-time use thing. You turn it on, and then once this turns on, the next time you turn it back on, it won't be on that mode again. But the motion detection, parking, and off all stay the way that you've left it. It's just that 1 FPS mode that turns off by itself, which is good because you don't want to always record in that 1 FPS. Another thing is, if you're near a Wi-Fi signal, like if you're out in your home, your phone may switch over to that Wi-Fi signal and off of the dash cam. That's if you're in your home, but if you're out, in the open somewhere where there's no Wi-Fi signal, then this will automatically connect up to your Wi-Fi signal so you can use the DVR. When you're in your app for the dash cam, you can set it to track your route. So if you open up the app while you're in your car before you start moving, this little button here will turn on the track when it's red. When you hit it again, it'll stop recording your route. And if you want to hit it again, it'll start recording. And as you move, it'll show you on the map and it'll trace the whole route from where you began to where you stop. And another little tip, if you want to change from miles per hour to kilometers per hour or vice versa, go to the main page and then hit the little cog here. You can change the speed unit, app language, and auto connect recorder. So when you first hook this up in your car and you turn your car on, it automatically starts recording and will continuously record until you tell it to pause, or if you turn the car off. And another thing about the normal videos and the emergency videos, the normal videos will get overwritten as the SD card gets full. All of the emergency videos are locked and will not get overwritten. So that's pretty much it, guys. I definitely loved the picture. The audio was really good. It's small and compact. It doesn't get in your way when you're trying to look out your front windshield. And it's got a lot of storage that you can add to this. The only thing I kind of wish that it had was a little wider angle for the front of your car, but it definitely gets everything that's happening in the front. So it's not really a deal breaker, it's just kind of more of a wish. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell to let you guys know when I put out new videos. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.